Hi everyone! On behalf of Leaside United Church and Rosedale United Church, welcome to the children's program. Rosedale and Leaside are joining forces, working together to bring you this morning's program. I am Roberta, the Children and Youth Minister at Rosedale United. I look forward to being with you today. For today's program, we are continuing to talk and learn about God's love in action. I hope that you have a Read, Wonder, and Listen Bible with you, but if not, don't worry. We'll hear the story together.
For today's activity, you will need the following: a piece of paper, magazines or newspapers that people have finished reading, some tape or some glue, pair of scissors, and if you want to be a little bit fancy, some pencil crayons or markers. If you're watching this live, then please take the next minute or so to find these things around your home. If you're watching on YouTube, this is the time to pause the video while you go get all the materials.
Now it is time to light the Christ candle. Do you remember why we light the Christ candle each week? It is to remind us all that every one of us has a bit of God's light within us, and to remind ourselves of God's presence. As we light that candle, I invite us to take in a deep breath and imagine the candle right in front of you right now, and let that breath come from the warmth of the candle into your lungs, and in and out over the candle. Very good. Our scripture reading today continues with the story that we began last week. Moses is in the desert at the base of Mount Sinai, sharing with all around him the gift that God has given him. Last week, we talked about some of the commandments that were shared. This week, Moses continues the rest of the commandments. Moses tells the people, God says, "And this is how you will show your love for other people. Treat your father and mother with respect. Do not kill. Do not take what is not yours. Keep your promises, especially to your loved ones. Do not say things about other people that are not true. Do not want what other people have. Be content with what you have. If you do these things, you will live in peace with one another and with your neighbors." God's ways were carved on stone, so they would last. "But," said Moses, "it is more important that they be written on your hearts and minds."
For today's activity, we will be making a collage. A collage is a bunch of pictures put together to make one larger picture that covers an idea. For this week, we'll be looking at ideas where people are performing acts of love. And we're going to do that with help from our handy-dandy magazines. I have a bunch of them here that we can look through, and we're going to see if we can find pictures in these ones where people are doing things that are loving. So, for example, if I look at this one right away, we see people on other side of the windows waving at their loved ones, holding up hands, writing notes saying I love you. So we can cut some of these pictures out and make them part of our collage. We can also find extra pictures online or in newspapers or even around the house. Now, here's a bunch of people doing a bunch of different things related to food, and I thought that I would cut out maybe this picture right here, which shows a bunch of people sitting together sharing food together. After all, we just had Thanksgiving, and I don't know about you, but when people share food with me, I find that pretty loving. It's funny When we look at all of these pictures, how many of them are related to some of the commandments that we chatted about, right? When we say that we're going to take care of our parents and honor them, that's loving. When we say that we're not going to hurt others or kill others, that's also loving. And it also means that we're going to make peace with them. We're going to treat each other nicely and fairly. Some of these, of course, are a little bit easier than others, and some of them are a bit harder. I wonder, which ones for you are a little bit harder or a little bit easier? There we go. Nice little shape right there. Now, I have a bunch of pictures from different magazines I thought I'd share with you. We have the picture that we took earlier of people sharing food. We have someone giving someone else flowers. One kid helping another up when the first kid fell down off their rollerblades, it looks like. Ooh, this one's fun. These are two people doing a pinky promise together. Have you ever held a pinky promise with someone? That's when you connect your pinkies like this and make a promise to each other. And that means you are never, ever, ever going to break that promise. We have one woman hugging her dog. We have people helping out with a food bank. Two people planting something together. Again, going with this idea of we love the earth by caring for it. And our first picture of a woman waving in the window. And with the collage, we can put them in any position we want and find a shape that works for us.
What I like about these pictures is they show us many ways that we can show love to others, instead of just ways we can't. It is easy to remember don't hit, but harder to remember ways we can be kind. These are ways to not just hurt someone, but make them feel good.
Just like that. Now all we have to do is tape or glue everything down, and our collage is almost complete. So I have taped everything down, which means that our collage is almost done. And while looking at these pictures, I'm noticing just how many are about what we would consider the 10 Commandments, right? We have ones like respecting creation and all that God gives us. Make sure that all of our relationships are loving. Be happy with what we have and not worry about what we don't have. We have taking care of others. We have always keeping your promises and not telling any lies. We have lots of the commandments here. I wonder if you even just looked at my pictures, do you see any other commandments that come from them? Do you see any commandments from the pictures you found? We also see all the ways that the commandments help us live a little bit better. We see how when we are sharing with other people, or when we tell others that we love them, or when we take care of creation around us, whether it's animals and our pets, or plants, or the environment, that we're making the world a little bit better. Do you see any of that in pictures that you found? How are people making the world a little bit better today?
And so, as we go out into the world today, let's look for all the ways we see people loving each other, themselves, creation, and God. And let's thank God for all the ways that we love each other. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.